how to avoid the chaos today is travel expert Sally Gethin, who joins us in the studio. Good morning, Sally. Very frustrating, isn't it, for people just trying to get on with their day? What is the best way to kind of go about your day without having to face all these disruptions?
Well, the first rule is to avoid travel by rail if you possibly can, and work from home if that's possible. But, for example, if you have already got a ticket and you're worried about that and can you use it again, there are lots of options for you to be able to do that. The train operating companies are saying that they will provide alternative dates for you to travel, especially up till the 2nd of August. And there is a temporary rail timetable at nationalrail.co.uk if you want to double check, if you absolutely have to get away. But obviously this has come as a huge blow. I mean, the whole travel picture in the UK now is very complicated because whatever you try to do, you seem to be scuppered. So if it's not the trains, then it's the ports, the ferries. The roads are busier than usual due to the summer holidays.
And fuel is more expensive, of course, if you are using
Yes, of course, the fuel. And as we all know, there are also problems at airports too.
Can I just ask you, just to clarify, so that the rail strikes are going ahead for 24 hours from earlier today, but there will inevitably be disruptions over the next couple of days
so
after that?
it's not a full 24 hours officially. So it's really from this morning through to this evening. But it has a knock-on effect, obviously. And I think there are some logistics with moving trains around as well after the industrial action has finished, which will create this knock-on effect. And they're not expected to be back to the normal working efficiency till midday tomorrow.
See, now that's very irritating. But then they're now also talking about tube strikes as well. I mean, these are on the way too. So we've got rail, we've got ferries, issues at Dover. It's just spreading everywhere, right?
Well, I was going to say it's a double whammy with the tubes in London, but actually you could say it's a triple, quadruple whammy in all regards. But yes, this tube strike, which is scheduled for the 19th of August, that's going to come slap bang in the middle of the other strike dates planned for rail on the 18th and the 20th of August. So it's just like a domino effect. You have one problem and then another and another. So, yes, and that's a rather sort of strange situation where they're striking because they don't know what the plans are in the long run for TfL. There's a blame game going on that front too.
Is there not a worry that we get so used to this sort of nonsense that in the end we actually are able to cope with it? It's a bit like COVID, people work from home, In the end, the impact becomes less and less.
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously it depends what your journey is going to be. And a lot of people do need to plan ahead, especially if you're going on holiday and you've got children. It's really important you know where you stand. So I would say really check the fine print of everything. I should add that there's a passenger charter also on each train operator's website. I would say also with air tickets to really check with your air carrier and on their websites particularly, but also go to the regulators, which is the CAA. There's lots of information. It just takes more time to inform yourself ahead.
When people are booking, though, or buying a ticket of some description, is there a particular clause they should look out for so that if something like this happens, they are covered and they can get their money back? Or is there any specific thing that they should look out for?
Yeah, I think in the first instance, if it's more of a longer break you're going on, definitely take out travel insurance. And if it's a holiday, an all-inclusive travel package, you're much more protected. I think also you do, like I said before, have to read the fine print. There's nothing that can totally future-proof your travel in the kind of environment we've got now. It's very unstable. And the problem is that there's no end in sight. There's this long question mark, and it creates a lot of instability around travel. And it's very bad news for the economy as well, because, of course, it impacts the way goods and travel as well as passengers.
Well, Sally Gethin, thank you so much for joining us to discuss this very pertinent issue at the moment, which is going to carry on, sadly.